Man, you have some balls. After a long moment of silence, Randall let out a long tight sigh, trying to turn his attention back to me. That was supposed to be a trick, right? You were trying to tempt me against the goals. Not gonna lie, it was a pretty shitty attempt. Even if they did bring my knife as a bargaining chip, there's no way they'd be that careless with it. Let me guess, Queen Bitch sent you, didn't she? Who are you talking about? Don't try to play dumb kid, neither was born yesterday. Fucking Char's figures. She must have known I would see through this. It's too obvious. What the hell is she aiming for? It's Skyrim in their mind games, damn it. Randall grew deep in his throat, face bare like a wild animal. But his rage didn't seem focused at me, much to my surprise. He was still holding the knife too, so I considered myself lucky. Oh, finally he let out a groan, most of the anger on his face fading to annoyance. Probably good we didn't bargain with those freaks anyway. They were up to something just like always. But you, I have never seen your face before, and I've just seen just about every vampire in LA. And since you were sent on the suicide missions, it doesn't take a whole lot of detective work to see that you're new. Cannon fodder, kicked out to die. What's your name anyway? It's Midori. Huh. You are Marva, I can tell. It makes me sad just to look at you being forced to work for the wrong house, like some dog with a shark collar. A look of genuine pity reflected in his eyes as they flick over me. You belong with this kid, not those scared pussies. Your blood knows it, and you know it too, don't you? It's just like Queen Bitch taking a newbie and throwing her out to the sharks. But there's not a whole lot I can do for you, not with her on high alert. The Iskari still have the most power in LA right now, so if Charis wanted you dead, well, you'd be dead. She'll find you no matter when you try to hide out. Taking you right now, you'd be too much of a risk, and I gotta look out for me and my group. His shoulders raised in a hapless shrug, one hand scratching at the back of his head. He really did sound apologetic, even though he didn't necessarily have any reason to be. Well, Charis wants a truce with you. Eventually, would you agree to one? What? For some godforsaken reason, she thinks you'll be good to work with. Huh. A chopped laugh of disbelief erupted from his throat. If he reacted like that, just to the mention of an alliance, it probably didn't bode well for Charis. That's the dumbest thing I've heard all month, and I just read a magazine ad trying to tell me my dick wasn't big enough. Sure, these guys look up to me, but I'm not their leader. They have no leader, that's kind of the fucking point. Told that 100 goddamn times too. Hard concept for a door up fastest to grasp, I guess. He muttered his last words spitefully, grinding a stray piece of gravel underneath his boot. Yeah, I think SARS may have been paused for Stalin. You sounded like a leader earlier. Me, I'm just their voice, 50 guys shouting at once. That can get real loud. Now, one guy speaking for the group, that makes negotiations a lot easier. Even if I'd rather negotiate with my knuckles in that smug fucker's face. It's not grinding his face into a swamp, glaring in the direction of the Gotha went off earlier. Christ. I can't believe Queen Bitch thinks I walk under her. Every scare is always out to use or kill you for power. That's just how it goes. They say they're all about building peace and wars over fighting, but that's all a fucking sham. One big bunch of snakes. And those Golgotha creeps that all wrap up in shit, I don't know, conspiracy theories or weird prophecies or something. Except for Marcus anyway. Marcus is the best girl I know around here. Marcus is amazing. Where's sunglasses? Marcus, yes, we've met. Alright, makes sense I guess. He knows everything that goes on in this city somehow. Marcus, man, I used to hate his guts. Since he was always playing nice with Queen Bitch, not to mention that slow, preachy way he talks. But then when I shut up and actually listened to what he said, I realized he has got it all figured out. The politics, the mind games, everything. Randall paused, shaking his head in bemused awe. He doesn't seem like the type guy who would respect just anyone, so the fact that he thought so highly of Marcus must have really meant something. That guy could be the king of Los Angeles if he wanted to. Hell, probably the whole world. But instead he just hangs out on his pawn store and sells giant rubber dicks. Really makes you think, doesn't it? Randall clutched his stomach, doubling over as if he had just cracked the best joke of the century. So we have Danny's crazy prophets and us. Yeah, you got Martha written over you, kid. That hot blood you have running through your veins, now that's something you and I have in common. Not a whole lot to say about us, really. Martha don't complicate shit. We just don't stand for unfair rules, and queen bitches for them. Vampires should be able to do whatever the hell they want. No murder sprees and no revealing your nature in public. Aside from that, we like to live our own lives as we damn well please. Usually on the wider side. Got a problem with another vampire, face him head on, no politics, that shit is what it's scary. We're beasts after all, and Martha don't hide from that, we embrace it. Huh, sounds like I got put in the right house, but we're more than just beasts, right? Well, humanity isn't about whether you're alive or not, it's about how you treat others, just like when you were immortal. It's only when you start losing yourself, killing for pleasure, torturing someone's body or mind, that you really become a monster. But enjoying your wild side, hiding, defending your territory, all that shit, I take that over bureaucratic games any day. Right on that aside, then eyeing me regretfully. I would like to take you with me, but as I said, it's too much of a risk. While you're still on Queen Bitch leash, everyone's gonna have it in for you, even the Iscari. Once you are free though, maybe you can run with me and my guys. I'm sure SL won't be bossing you around. I'll think about it. Yeah, take your time. One of the few luxuries we still have. With a wry smile, Randall reached out to clamp a large hand on my shoulder, squeezing it roughly. Alright kid, it's been fun, but I need to go make sure the others aren't running down goals in the suit or anything else too crazy. I'm usually at the beach with my crew, so if you ever decide to hop onto the winning team, he'd show off and click his tongue playfully, winking at me. Maybe if I get really bored. You know, you will wish you had time to be bored. Well, it is now. Every mode you're not fitting is one when you are looking over your shoulder, waiting for the next backstabber. So don't die, kid. Later. And with that, we parted ways. I left the parking garage with a slightly clearer picture of the world I had been tossed into, thanks to Randall. Luckily, the guard at the entrance was gone, so I avoided another awkward encounter. Maybe Randall would explain things to him later. That whole mess had worked out somehow. Although I had to wonder how much was just beginner's luck, since most of it seemed too convenient to be true. Back to the hotel. I arrived at the hotel with an overwhelming sense of relief, making my way back to the meeting room from last night. As it turned out, Charis and Heat were already waiting for me. Welcome back, Midori. We already heard about the little mess you caused at the parking garage. Word travels fast. Heat's air voice rang with pride, and he offered me an encouraging smile. Yes, you have done quite an impressive job. Your performance certainly surpassed my expectations. Unsurprisingly, Charis didn't match Heat's smile, but she did offer me a sharp nod. You tricked me, you complete bitch. Yeah, but... Before we go any further, let me clear the air. I predicted that Randall would see through the knife deception. However, you accomplished a twofold task, perhaps without realizing it. You disrupted their truce discussions, at least for now, and you also made yourself known by name to Randall, who is a significantly powerful vampire. From the smart look in her tone, I could tell Charles was pretty pleased with the outcome of the events. Did that mean my instincts were right? None of what happened back there was an accident? As I mentioned earlier, your naivety is assumed by everyone you meet. Even secretive, insular vampires will open to you simply because they want to win you to their cause. You should use this to your advantage while you still can. Ingratiate yourself with those who believe you have no allegiance. Duly noted. I'm not as naive as I think I am. Indeed, I believe you have keen insight. It will undoubtedly serve you well in the tangled webs of our society. She sniffed pointedly, nudging her glass back up her nose. That matter aside, I have another task for you. It entails less conflict, but is of equal importance. I'm listening. One of my contacts in South LA was unreachable tonight. I need to know why, but I can't spare any of my other associates to go find her. Things are very busy, you see. I imagine she is perfectly fine as she often vanishes for a night or two to engage in frivolities, but I would like to confirm the situation. Go to the area, track her down, and report back to me. Not too complicated, is it? Understood, I'll be back once I find your contact. Excellent. I have the greatest faith you carry out, I promise. My calm response seemed to please Charles, who heard me constantly from over her glasses. I mean, who have played through that game, I kinda understand what those vampires think. Just try to please them, just a little bit, but don't do it in a way that makes you look stupid. And you should be fine, most of the times. Very well, one final thing, Midori, before you go. Yes, Miss Law. I suggest you partner yourself with others, try to learn from an older vampire. My agent here is relatively new himself, but he may have some valuable insights on Hollywood to share with you. When Charles mentioned his name, he'd perk up, his eyes sparkling curiously. Did I hear you compliment me just now? I was merely stating the facts. She coolly replied to it without missing a beat. Oh, I see. Moving along, Marcus too possessed remarkable inside knowledge, but as a Golgotha, he's also particularly eccentric, and his loyalties are unpredictable. Take everything he says with a grain of salt. And this may come as a surprise if you decide to seek out Randall as a mentor. No one stops you. I acknowledge the strength of his position as well as his charisma and conviction. However, do not let yourself be swayed by his anarchistic beliefs. The current world is proof of what happens when vampires execute leaderships: chaos, paranoia, and bloodshed. Thanks for the advice. I will choose carefully. So you should. The decisions may be the most important one you ever make. Yeah, I will save the game once we reach that decision, so I don't have to load it again. Hida and I will be staying here to discuss affairs, but I expect to report in the next few days, Midori. She lifted an elegant hand, pointedly gesturing towards the door. He looked disappointed, flashing me an apologetic grimace when Charles wasn't looking. It seemed like he was stuck there for the moment. I took the hint and left, heading towards the elevator. A part of me wondered what affairs they were talking about, but eavesdropping probably wasn't worth the risk. My room welcomed me back with all its glamorous, lifeless shine. But as relieved and happy as I was to complete my trial, I felt incredibly restless and uneasy. Lifting the curtains with one hand, I gazed out the window, absorbing the vibrant cityscape before me. Yesterday, it had all felt like a dream. Today, reality was finally setting in. I was a vampire chained to eternity, trapped behind glass, separated from the Hollywood life I had dreamed of, so close and forever unreachable. Like the cityscape, that dream would always glitter in the distance, a reminder of what I had lost. No matter how strong I was, it still felt like my whole world had just flung upside down, and I couldn't find anyone to put my feet. Maybe I really did need a mentor to help me through this. Rules, etiquette, and powers, I could figure those out by myself given enough time, but that wasn't what I needed most. I needed a way to ground myself, to figure out what being a vampire really meant and who I was becoming. The three men Charles mentioned seemed to know what they were doing, if nothing else. There was a good chance that one of them could help me discover my place in this new life. With that, I made up my mind. Tomorrow, I'll go and save the game first. This is the first choice of the game. Probably the most important one since it decides the branch of the story. We'll come back later for this. But for now, I think let's go with Randall, our mentor, and then we can go in the order, alright? Randall was the most casual, friendly vampire I had met so far. Blunt and opinionate, maybe, but I had the sense he wouldn't try to manipulate me unlike most others probably would. Besides, it was a marvel too. Maybe he could teach me how to use my new strength to its full potential. With any luck, Randall wouldn't mind helping me out, despite the rocky start we got off to. Then it was settled. Tomorrow I'll take a break from rushing, showers, errands, and go find Randall instead. That thought was only a small pill in the whirlwind I had been thrown into, but I clung to it as tightly as I could. A little excitement sparked through me as I shut the curtains, curling onto my bed to hide from the coming daylight. If this was what fate had in store for me, then so be it. I would fight and struggle to stay afloat in this world I had been thrown into, and no matter what, I wouldn't give up, even if it meant I would never see another sunrise again. My feet sank into the soft, welcoming sand. A gentle rhythm of crashing waves filled my ears, washing over the distant cries of seagulls. It felt so different from the glittering bustle of Hollywood and downtown LA, almost like a remote, isolated bubble of paradise. After taking a taxi from the hotel to Santa Monica, I'd been wandering around for a little while looking for Randall's place. The only directions he had given me were at the beach, which wasn't exactly the most helpful. Luckily, I could smell or rather sense the presence of vampires nearby. This time, it felt like I was tracking a blob instead of individual stands, as if they all morphed together into one giant presence. My feet soon took me to a rickety house by the waterfront. I heard a familiar, charismatic voice booming through the windows, which meant this was definitely the place. Midori. A few seconds after a knock, the door swung open. At first, Randall looked shocked to see me, but his smile soon called into a guarded smile. You know, I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting you to show up again. Most people don't. I like to catch them by surprise. Ah, so you're telling me I'm the one who got played, huh? Nice comeback, but I feel like you came here with an agenda in mind. No one sent me here, I just came to talk to you. He didn't seem to be buying it. It was hard to blame you considering the stunt I had pulled last night. Ah, fuck it. Even if you came to spy on me, at least you get entertainment. There's probably nothing Queen Bitch doesn't know about me already, so stop standing around, come inside. Randall beckoned me impatiently into the house, so I followed him past the sandy threshold. The living room was far from empty, a number of vampires crowded around in conversation. Some standing and others lounging on the couch and chairs. When they noticed me, the chatter dropped into a low, guarded murmur, and sharp looks flew at me from all directions. Hello everyone, wiggle my fingers. Why aren't you guys sure a welcoming bunch? Sorry, I'm shooting or something. I say, stay silent. My silence was met with more silence, causing the room to sink even deeper into an awkward sludge. Hey, isn't that the kid who gave you the knife, Randall? Yeah, I think I recognize her face. A few vampires raised their voice, wary, glancing between Randall and me. Relax, we work it out, alright? Randall eyed the vampires that raised their hackles, wearing the slightly disappointed look of an older brother dealing with immature siblings. Besides, she's one of us. If any one of you was stuck in Queen's Bitch service, I would open my door to you the same way. A moment later, the hostile gaze begins melting away and the room echoed with a few sheepish coughs and grumbles. Ah shit, I guess you're right, like usual. It's kinda easy to forget sometimes, we all had it rough at the start. The chatter gradually resumed its previous form, and with the exception of a few lingering glares, the hostility in the room subsided. It was like Reno had flipped some kind of switch. I had seen at the garage how much his group listened to him seemed even more obvious now. Sorry about that, kid. Clearing his throat, Reno let out a faint chuckle. Everyone is just a little jumpy with this what shit going on. And what you're working for, Charles. So don't hesitate to get defensive. It's fine, I get why they would be suspicious of me. Good, don't take it too personally, okay? Just how things work around here for now anyway. He glanced away for a moment, an idle smile flickering across his lips. Anyway, come on over to the couch. Let me introduce you to a few folks. Once they meet the big old evil Midori in the flesh, maybe they'll warm up to you. With one hand gently steering my shoulder, Randall led me through the throng of vampires, and I felt numerous gazes on me as we passed by. We ended up in front of a small group sprawled on the sofa and chairs. The conversation quickly dying down as we approached. Hey everyone, give Midori here your best book. A mumbled chorus of highs and haze rose up from the group, not exactly ringing with enthusiasm. And there is one girl who hasn't said anything at all, and judging her raised from his raised eyebrow, Randall had noticed too. What was that, Marla? Come on, cut the sucking for half a minute and give her that winning smile you got. When he addressed the girl, a pretty vampire while a curly hair restrained by a headband, she let out a long, groaning sigh. Alright, hi newbie. I'm Marla. I fix cars and kick the ass of people who mess with our clan. You might want to keep that in mind. I find that and the things I don't really care about. Hi Marla, I'm Midori. Yeah, I know, hi. She responds stiffly, making no attempt to hide her mistrust. Alright, now over here we've got Marla's boyfriend and our resident gunsmith, Ziggy. He pointed towards the young Asian guy leaning against Marla's side, his shaggy back hair obscuring one eye. Ziggy smiled shyly at me, nodding his head a little. hello, Ziggy. Nice to meet you.
I hope that the rain will never stop.
He nodded at me again, mumbling out something that was probably a YouTube, but I couldn't quite tell. Ziggy never really says a whole lot, but he's a good kid. Good with guns too. Most of us have to pack heat when we go near Hollywood these days. And let's see, this fine lady here's Shaquina, a damsel from the age of the Wild West. The next vampire Randall motion to was an older woman, probably nearing her 70s, or looked Hispanic, with long gray hair and a wrinkled face. She's everyone's grandma, except instead of baking cookies, she likes to sharpshoot motherfuckers who cross too many lines. Step on her toes and she'll lasso your ass and dangle you off a cliff. Howdy, Midori. That little trick you pulled with the parking garage damn near had my sides splitting open. Try not to pull it again, or else I might have to split your sides open, eh? Flashing me a teasing grin, Jaquana broke out into deep, raspy laughter that Randall instantly joined in on. Stay silent and watch them. They continued to laugh for a short while longer, and the rest of the group exchanged dry looks that suggest this was a regular occurrence. Alright. Last but not least, our new and lovable Skitty Cat. Oh yeah, you guys already met, didn't you? As Randall gestured to the last man on the couch, I realized I had seen him before. The same type who was guarding the parking garage. When our eyes met, he grimaced and quickly looked away, pulling his hood further over his head. It was one of the newsmen personnel before you came along, so he doesn't know his asthma hole in the ground either. Go on, Jack, don't be shy. I'm Jack. He cleared his throat, eyes darting nervously between Randall and me. You know, I didn't really think you were one of us back there. I was just playing along because I thought Randall would want to meet you. So yeah, I just want to clear that up. Let's just go to water under the bridge, okay? Yeah, whatever. Okay, I think that's everyone. Loudly clearing his throat, Randall eyed Jack for a moment, who sank back into the sofa as the queen packed his shirt. Alright guys, me and Midori will let you go back to whatever gossip you were throwing around. Huh, you're not staying? Give me a few minutes, I gotta talk to her outside about something. His eyes darted over to meet mine, seeing with a sharp curiosity. It was nice meeting you all. Well, you two take care out there, and if any hopheads on the beach give you all trouble, let me know, I'll pick them up from the window. Yeah, maybe don't do that. With that, we left the laughing group to themselves, though their gaze still followed Randall after we turned away. Somehow the room's energy seemed to be focused on him. Like everyone was always aware of Randall's presence, even if they weren't actively watching his towering figure. Outside, Randall lowered himself onto the porch stairs, motioning me to sit down beside him. The waves gently crashed and fell in the distance, rippling beneath the moonlight. Hope I didn't throw you off too much back there, but I don't like to break the ice so much as smash it in with a fucking hammer. You did a good job. I understand the clan a little better now. Well, thanks, newbie. It means a lot to me hearing you say that. They all come from different places, and they've got real different stories, but everyone comes together here. He paused, his gaze flicking from my face to the dark ocean. Behind us, I could hear the muffled sounds of laughter and chatter drifting warmly from inside. When Randall turned back to me, a faint shadow clouded his face. It was a different look from the one he had worn inside the house, almost defensive. So, if you really weren't sent here by Charles, I'm guessing there's something on your mind, right? Well, she told me I should find a mentor. What, she told you that? And you came to me, oh Jesus. Randall erupted into a fit of laughter, wheezing delightedly and slapping his thigh. Care to explain the joke? Shush. I can't tell if you came to me to spy her because you thought it was a good idea or if you actually haven't met anyone else. They are all really bad. Because I don't know if you have noticed, but I don't really give off the wise old teacher vibe. Wise old stoner, maybe. But hey, I guess you were serious. Huh, well shit. He let out a long deep sigh, watching me brooding for a long few moments. Would I be a burden if you took me under your wing? Fuck's sake, kid, don't pull that guilt trip shit on me. I already got a soft heart, you don't have to trample on it. You're not a burden either, you're an unlucky newbie and I get that. With a frustrated grunt, Randall ran a hand through the back of his hair. He seemed to be wrestling with his own thoughts. Look, I may be able to help you figure things out if you tell me what you want, now that you're a vampire. You do know what you want, right? I have to learn more about this world before I make any decisions. I want to do whatever the hell I want. I want to become a power player, not somebody's lackey. I want to have friends and be close to people again. Yeah, I feel like I'm all alone now. Yeah, that's nothing much out of the ordinary. It's rough being yanked into the dark. You know the best way to deal with it? Just pretend you have moved on to a new place. You don't know anyone, the neighbors are assholes, your boss turns out to be a massive dick. But if you treat people right and show them they can trust you, you have your little social circle back in no time. Vampires, we're the same as humans, just a little more paranoid. He chuckled, tapping the side of his brow with a knowing wink, as if suggesting I had experienced that firsthand soon enough. I would experience that firsthand soon enough. Alright, now listen to me for a second, Midori. I like your style, so I'm gonna make you an offer. You keep working for Queen, bitch, for now at least. You don't have to act happy about it, but don't make her think you're a threat either. If she tries to make any move against me or make a treaty with the ghost to take us down, tell me as soon as you can. She might slip you false information, but I can usually sniff out the truth. And in return, I teach you how to keep your spirits as a vampire, you know, like the way me and my group stay strong. Maybe it'll help you figure yourself out a little more. How does that sound, newbie? Sign me up, but could you stop calling me newbie? My remark made Randall grin playfully, and he pointed a finger at my nose. Oh yeah, I left out one condition. I can't call you newbie whenever I damn well feel like it. At least it's cute, right? He stuck a large, coalesced hand for me to shake, staring intently into my eyes. As I reached out for his hands, I noticed a bandage in the middle of his palm, though there wasn't any smell of blood. Hey, don't leave me hanging here. Randall leaned forward to clasp both of his hands around my own, doffing it in his giant palms. After a firm few shakes, he used his hold to pull me in a little closer. I couldn't tell if it was on purpose or just something he did on instinct, considering the aggressive nature of his blood. And Midori, the first thing I want you to learn is to always obey yourself. Randall's fingers tightened a little bit around my head, squeezing it almost painfully hard. Never believe anyone is better or more worthy than you. Never let your mind be a slave to someone or something else. No master, no idols, no kings. I hope you take that to heart. Even after he stopped speaking, his quiet words echoes in my mind, like a tolling bell slowly fading into silence. Was he threatening me, warning me, testing me? Whatever it was, I could tell he wasn't kidding around. I won't bow down to anyone right now. You can count on that. I hold you to that promise, Midori. A smirk roamed onto his lips, and he gave my hand one last strong squeeze before finally letting me go. We share no body warmth, obviously, but I still felt the roughness of his bandage palms lingering on my skin. Good, I got a promising feeling about this, and I hope that you put your mind to rest some, kid. I don't want you going back sadder than a box of kittens in the rain. Listen, I need to get some planning done for a little scary party crash I'm doing tomorrow. Don't want you to think I'm kicking you up, but I kinda am. Grinning apologetically, Randall pushed himself to his feet, rubbing the small of his back. Then he extended a hand palm down to help me up. My hesitation has been obvious because I let out a bark of laughter. No squeezing this time, I promise. Alright, but only because you promised. Randall winked at me as I grabbed his hand, letting him pull me onto my feet. But as I turned to step up the porch, Randall stopped me, tackling lightly on the back of my jacket. Hey, Midori. Night after tomorrow, how about we go grab some drinks, say around midnight? There's a place called Saturnalia, run by one of Char's beach boys, but Lizzie self-stopped that one make us sick. Sure, why not? It'd be good to let off some steam. Yeah, that's a spirit. Alright, I see you then. You can always ask someone at the hotel for directions. Those fuckers are always hanging around there. Now enjoy the rest of your night, kid. And hey, I'm glad you came by. Man, this music really suits with the game, it seems. I have to step off the patio and back onto the beach. Randall gave me one last warm smile. I called out a farewell, but my voice was swallowed by the drone of endless waves crashing on the shore. Whew. I spent the rest of the night prowling the city, testing my new abilities. The hot blood of my vampire house, Marva, seemed to give me strength and speed beyond anything I could have ever had while alive. I felt I could juggle lions and outrun a race car, although I probably wouldn't be testing either of those theories anytime soon. But as I darted through the wind, through the shadows, reveling in the cool night breeze, something stirred inside me. A deep subtle tugging sensation went in my chest. What was it? The feeling reminded me of the Argent Marcus mentioned on my first night, dangerous and uncontrollable. My powers were amazing, but I didn't want to push them too far without understanding what that fight meant, because it might just consume me before I realized it. Finally, as I began heading back to the hotel, a fresh hunger stirred in my gut. Sunrise was still an hour off, so I could feed from a human if I wanted to. We can bring a blood pack. I shook my head. I wasn't ready to drink from another living thing. I would just drink a leftover blood pack in my fridge. It didn't satisfy me nearly as much as one blood, but it would have to do. By the time I returned to my hotel room, settling in for the night, everything was beginning to feel more natural. It was still bizarre to think I had been turned into a blood-sucking pretty corpse, but I realized something important. My house didn't have to define my nature. I could use my house to better understand myself. My powers were a reflection of how I was in life, or how I wanted to be. The mysterious vampire who sighed me must have brought me into his house because we were similar somehow. By learning how other Marva acted, how they used their powers, I would also try to learn more about myself and my true nature. As morning crept closer, and I curled up on the bed to hide away from the sun, I resolved to keep that promise. After all, dead or not, the week wouldn't last long in Hollywood. The night sky flickered past outside my car window, a star almost invisible through all the light pollution. I was on my way to South Los Angeles, courtesy of Charles' driver. He never said a word, which was slightly unnerving, but the circumstance didn't really lend themselves to small talk. Only a few days ago, Marcus and I had taken the same sedan to the Hollywood Heights Hotel, and now here I was riding it again, rolled out like a bowling ball from Charles' fingertips. Unlike my previous missions, I hadn't been given a lot to go on. All I knew was the description of Charles' agent, a Latina, sky blood, gray suit with blue shirt, appeared in her mid-30s. She had gone missing a few days ago, and even though Charles said the agent usually took lengthy vacations, I had a bad feeling about this. Before long, the sedan pulled over to a seemingly random point on the street. Of course, the driver didn't say anything, but I could guess that this was my drop-off point. I left the car for the streets of South LA, wondering how exactly to start my search. Asking around wouldn't be a bad idea, though most of the people passing by looked pretty unsavory. I could also try to track her down myself if there were any trace left of her scent. My best bet was probably to go watch a movie. Are you fucking kidding me? Look for any clues or signs of a struggle. If she had been attacked, there might be some kind of clue left behind. It was a long shot, but it might be worth a try. I combed through the street and the alleys, trying to find anything that would give me a hint to the agent's whereabouts. But there was nothing to be found besides litter, crime, and general human misery. I would have to take a different approach, maybe something more suited to my talents. I wandered back to my starting point, mulling over what to try next. Tried to track her scent. I didn't have much to go on. Charles had offhandedly mentioned the scent of the agent's perfume, but that was about it. If she had gotten into a fight, maybe I could catch the scent of blood somewhere. And of course, there was the distinct smell, if you could call it that, of a vampire much different from a human. I couldn't really put it into words. Then again, pretty much everything that had happened to me recently defied logical explanation. I combed through the streets, sometimes attempting to find any trace of the agent. The mixture of city smell was so thick that I could barely pick out but above the rest, let alone one that had been still for a couple of days. But as I wandered down a certain alley, I suddenly caught something different. A trace of perfume, the presence of a vampire, incredibly faint but still strong enough for me to smell it. Yet the sense trail stopped almost immediately. It was like she had vanished into thin air in this alleyway. It was very much a dead end, except for the manhole leading to the sewers. If the agent was chasing someone or running from someone, it seemed like a perfect escape route. Knowing I had to be on the right track, I grabbed the manhole cover and easily yanked it off. A damp, smelly darkness yawned at me from below, but unfortunately it seemed like the only way forward. After clambering down the ladder, I stepped off the bottom rung into murky, shallow water. A few rats darted away squeaking in terror, like I had barged into their private meeting. I really hadn't come to LA expecting to splash around the sewers, but life was just full of surprise. As I cautiously made my way forward, I caught a scent of both the stench of sewage, blood, but it was different from the sweet, enticing smell of mortal blood. It seemed oddly bitter, making the back of my throat burn painfully. Or maybe that was the sewage. It was hard to tell. Ironically, just a few hours ago, I had been lounging in my extravagant hotel suite, and now here I was getting intimately acquainted with Alice's waste. In the middle of all that filth and vermin, I ponder how. A shit high was good practice. If I wanted to get anyone in my own life, I had to get used to the filth beneath the surface. It was probably just the beginning of my descent, and the worst was yet to come. The further I ventured into the sewers, the more uneasy I felt. My sharpened instincts jumped at every noise, every string flicker of light, and yet nothing came out of the darkness. Soon the smell of blood grew stronger. I was close now to whatever it was. I followed the bit of sand down several tunnels, staying on high alert. Closer? It was so close now, and anticipation filled my empty gut. I rounded yet another corner, and then the smell stopped. It was strongest right here, but I couldn't see anything but water and floating garbage. I had missed something. Just as I was about to turn around, my gaze fell on a ruined TV lying on a pile of clothes. It looked unnatural, out of place, and the water around was a different color. But as I stared at the TV set, I slowly realized I wasn't looking at someone's discarded trash. The screen was torn out, but instead of exposed wires inside it, I saw a mangled head. That pile wasn't just clothes, it was a body. With a chill creeping up my spine, I slowly stepped closer, studying the corpse. When I recognized his features, my stomach clenched in dread. This was Shara's agent. At least from what I could tell, her body was completely mutilated. Someone had opened a hole in the bottom of the TV and stuck it over her head. I examined the body more closely. She looked like she had been attacked by a wild animal, with chunks of flesh sliced off, bones sticking out, clothing torn into shreds. And most strangely, she was missing her eyes and ears. But judging from the precise cuts there, they had been removed with almost such surgical precision. As my eyes traveled down the massacred body, I spotted something on the ground by his side. It was a small piece of oddly bright stationery, printed with almost mechanically perfect handwriting. It's always the same. It must have been a note from the killer. Charles would definitely want to see this. I bent down to ginkily grab the paper, folding it up to stick in my pocket. At that moment, I felt something on my shoulder. A cold grasp squeezing tightly. Who's there? No reply. Whatever was behind me didn't move, didn't breathe, but just as I realized, I recognized its presence. You may want to watch your back a little more carefully in the future, sister. A low drawl echoed in my ear, and the hand on my shoulder slowly turned me around. There stood Marcus, his pale eyes shining brightly. How did you sneak up like that? Not every vampire's presence is so easily felt, you must understand. Thus, I advise against trusting all your worldly sense to defend yourselves. Turning away from me slightly, Marcus slowed his gaze to the gory mass of flesh that was once Charles' agent. I saw a keen interest in his eyes, almost fascination. Not the look you would usually observe a mangled corpse with. I gather the Red Queen sent you here. She will applaud your investigative skill, no doubt. Tell me, just what do you believe happened to this unfortunate soul? They cut out her eyes and ears. It wasn't just mindless killing. One would be inclined to think so, indeed. A message, or perhaps self-therapy of the most visceral kind. Hands clasped behind his back, Marcus strolled towards the corpse, circling around it with an analytical light in his eyes. The bottom of his long coat swished in the discolored water, silk and dripping, but he didn't seem to particularly mind. I suggest you tread very carefully around this matter, Midori. There's a scent of formless malice in the air, a festering loathing that something created. Do not underestimate the wretch. Why are you here anyway to investigate? In a certain sense of the word, yes. I'm not here an artist, merely scientific curiosity. As Marcus' calm draw echo off the walls, putting me slightly more at ease. My body seems to suddenly remember the stench around me, making it difficult not to gag. It was a crisp smell of the agent's blood churning in my gut, even overpowering the scent of rotten flesh. As if sensing my thoughts, Marcus took a deep long sniff of the air, his eyelids fluttering close. If you're puzzled as to why the smell of blood is so wretched beyond the advanced state of decay, of course it's because of a rather curious phenomenon. He wandered back towards me, observing my face intent. To humankind, vampire blood is wonderful, intoxicating, a drug beyond any other. In fact, it gives them certain temporary powers, usually a very weak form of their donor's own. But to other vampires, another night stalker's blood is the most repelling taste on earth. A rare few of our kind can drink vampire blood without throwing it back up, but in most cases, we're all but toxic to each other. So even if a vampire drinks another blood, they don't get any power. Special bonding or I guess whoever killed the agent wasn't out for blood then. If they were, they certainly made an atrocious mess of it. But I suspect they had other ills in mind for whatever they may be. Marcus tilted his head to the side, exhaling a quiet sigh, his thoughts seeming to drift up somewhere else. Oh well, enough of such morbid trivialities. I should be crawling back to my shop, but before I do, I wanted to mention something that you may find important. More sagely advised, I am the fool, not the sage, sister. Now, despite what you may think, the number of vampires in Los Angeles is fairly low. Most of us all know each other, or at least each other's names. And that is exactly why word about you will spread faster than herpes in a game of spin the bottle. In fact, I have mind to believe it's already spreading. Everything you do or say will get out somehow, so keep that locked up in your mind somewhere safe and sound. I guess I should try to keep a low profile then. You most certainly can, but I would suggest a different solution. Considering associating more with your fellow stalkers of the night, indeed, as often as you can. Not just the vampires who share your beliefs either. A creature is corrupt when they hold in high esteem those who agree with them, rather than those who don't. Make allies, or at least observe your enemies, because someone will always find a fantastic excuse to hate you, even if you make Jesus look like he wasn't trying hard enough. You can find our kind everywhere. The slaughtering house, the abattoir, the streets, the bar, the beach, the hotel. It gestured grandly in a half circle with one hand, as if using the surrounding field to symbolize LA. And you know where my den of depravity is, of course. I don't know, I have a hard time getting along with other people. Why? I never said that you had to. I'm merely suggesting you find a certain proverbial banner under which to pitch your tent, or else you might find yourself braving the storm alone. He exhaled a long, quiet sigh, smiling wistfully for some reason or another, but probably not from sympathy. But just as he turned to leave, Marcus paused, throwing a sudden glance back towards me. I'm sure our roads will cross again sooner or later, mid-dirt. No need to take the one less trouble, it makes little difference in the end. He raised two fingers to offer me a casual wave, eyes glinting behind his glass. As Marcus disappeared around the corner, his presence rapidly faded, almost as if the darkness had just swallowed him up. For all I knew, maybe it had. With a killer's note in my hand and the image of Charles State agent burned into my brain, I made my own exit. Back on the street, the driver had been patiently waiting for me. Of course, he said nothing as I climbed to the sedan, even though I probably smelled like all else bodily waste. Surely even he wonders sometimes if he was being paid enough for all this. The glimmering hotel lobby welcomed my return with warm lamplight. But the second I stepped inside, the desk clerk hastily motioned me over, offering me the telephone and a script of phone number. Apparently, Charles was traveling, couldn't receive my report in person, so I had to ring up a hotel. Yes, Charles Locke speaking. Her voice crackled sharp at me, brisk as ever. Who is this? Hello, Charles, it's me, Dory. Ah, good, I was expecting you to call. I apologize for not being there to speak with you, but I'm afraid I had to attend to business matters. I assume you have found the agent then. Give me the details of your report. Tell her everything. I described everything that I could remember, mentioning the agent's body and the way I discovered her. There was the note too, which I read out to the Charles. I see. After I finished, the line went silent for several long moments. It doesn't seem like an act of intimidation, but it's most peculiar to leave a body in the sewers regardless. Her halting words sounded a little wary, concern rippling through her voice. To be perfectly honest, this strikes me as an independent rogue or a serial killer rather than an assassin. Rather unnerving, to say the least. We should be all careful until the culprit is found. I agree. It may be an isolated incident, but I would rather not lose any further associates to some unhinged killer. She pointedly cleared her throat and just like that, glided onto the next subject. The timing, as always, is perfect. I recently received a message about a few problematic models. These past two nights, it would appear they have been searching for vampires, most likely as part of some supernatural tabloid publication. She let out quite wary exhale that suggests this kind of thing wasn't new. Normally, there wouldn't be anything but a minute, except these models are dangerously close to the Marvel hideout on the beach. And I assume you know firsthand how Rory Randall and his followers are. I couldn't really tell how if her pointed remark was supposed to be accusing or sympathetic. Knowing Charles, though, it probably was safe to assume the former. Therefore, to put things bluntly, I need you to drive this human away. You are up to the task, I assume. Fine, I take care of them for you. Of course. Good, be discreet. Feel free to employ whatever means necessary. Just ensure that Randall Street urchins don't show their face on the nightly news. Very well. Unless there's further business, I'll leave you to your device. That's all. Good night. Good night, Midori. With that, the line clicked off and my second commission for Charles came to an end. It seemed like it was going to be my new routine unless until the world was open, so for better or worse, I have to settle into it. As the desk clerk insisted, I changed into a bathrobe and let the staff wash my disgusting clothes. That time I returned to my room, still sweat and fluffy pink curtain. The sun rays were beginning to loom dangerously on the horizon. I was meeting Randall at Saturnalia tomorrow, which would presumably be more relaxing than tonight's adventure. When I left the beach house, he sounded eager to see me again, so hopefully I wouldn't be stood up. Crawling under the covers, I curled up in comforting darkness. Soon sleep took me away, blocking out the painful sun. The end of another night in Hollywood. The faded wood inside in front of me looked like a relic from Hollywood's golden age. Saturnalia, it read in swollen letters. It seemed this was the place. I had left the hotel not long ago where the desk clerk helpfully gave me directions to Pete's bar. Apparently, it was a popular neutral ground for Elvis vampires, even the ones who didn't live close to Hollywood. I wasn't really sure what to expect from the place, or if I would be welcome as a new vampire, but since it rented, I would hopefully be safe. The bar I stepped into was dim, slightly cramped, and flecked with low conversation. Something about it felt faded, like the sign outside. Maybe it was a peeling movie poster on the walls, or the lonely patrons sitting in the corners, or the glittering lights that filtered through the windows. Somehow, it brought me back to a time I couldn't even remember. Midori. A loud, husky, unmistakable voice called to me from the corner of the bar. Alright guys, I think I'm going to stop playing. I don't think I can handle this any longer. We'll come back next time.